Ant-Man, issue number 4. Man, oh man, it sure feels like we just did issue 3. I guess they wanted to get the trade done before the release of the movie in February, so you're kind of pushing it up a bit. Or maybe it was just like the third issue was delayed and this one was scheduled to come out at this time. I don't really know. It just feels like last week we talked about Ant-Man, doesn't it? Now we got more Ant-Man to talk about. That's okay. This is the finale to this book. I love it. I really like it. You know, I've been kind of just waiting for something fun at Marvel that's just taking chances that's so sleeper that nobody is really talking about it. And I feel like this book really just said, we're getting rid of PymTron for a bit, okay? Or PymTron. We'll deal with some more Ant-Man stuff as we do it. So this book, it's all about Zane Oscar, who is the Ant-Man of some future timeline. What did they say the year was? It was like 2420. So it's like we're taking another trip down the Marvel narrative experience, all trademarked, of course. And the idea is, so All Father Ultron takes over the world. And we get like a brief history lesson. It even has like fake comic books you could read if you want to see. Hey, this is where Ultron arrives in the past with Asgardian armor in Mighty Thor number 4770 Thor. And this is where he like fights, you know, all the heroes in Warriors 5 and Beta Ray Bill number 350. So essentially, Ultron gets a hold of some evil armor and Asgard takes over the world. And the heroes that are left in the timeline, which is like one Doombot, which survives the incursion, uses its power to bring 6 Avengers throughout time to come back and fight him in the present. And it kind of like changes the world and we defeat the Ultron evil. And that is when Zane is born. So Zane is born in like this weird future. I believe he is born in 53 AU, which is after Ultron, or 2503 after the death of Christ. You get it. And essentially, so he's born again. He becomes an Ant-Man inspired by heroes of old, and he builds these things called the nano ants, which can like reconfigure matter and then like rebuild it, so it can like destroy it and then rebuild it at the same time. But the thing is, like, he wants this to kind of like help people and use it like to bring people together and save society. But the thing is, he can't do it with like organic materials, so it's not really like the lifesaver he thought it was going to be. So what he wants to do is go back in time to figure out how the other Ant-Man of the past were able to control ants that way. He's only got like these weird robotic ants, so he can't really like help material matter. But going back in time, it kind of unleashes the spirit of All Father Ultron to come back. And this is where he's like, oh shit, I gotta get the Ant-Man, not just to tell me how to do ant stuff, but to come back and help me fight this big Ultron. So the first one he gets, of course, is Hank Pym from the olden days, who is sitting around talking like an old Hank Pym would. I love it. Just the perfect dialogue. Answer me, blast you. I love it. Very fun. Very good speech bubbles for him. Everything is working fantastic. So he's like, well, okay, you got some weird nano ants that can potentially stop it. I got a growth pill. Let's throw it at your ants and see if they can do some damage. It's kind of working, not really doing exactly what they want. So we see that Zane's like, well, let's get Scott Lang. Maybe Scott Lang can help. You know, let's not get any other heroes. Ultron's created by an Ant-Man. Don't believe anything the movies tell you. Maybe we should be the ones to deal with this solution. And you see Scott's like, what? He doesn't know what's going on. We also see that the All-Father Ultron is actually PymTron. And you see that it's kind of like, it's got like the old or young old Hank in its grasp and wants to break him. And Scott Lang's like, no, you leave him alone. Hank's a bigger man than you'll ever be. I'm like, that's really cool to see Scott have like that much like respect for Hank. Because it's not something we see much in contemporary stories, you know? I think that's kind of cool. But you see, getting smacked in the face by Scott, it kind of gets like the Hank part of the PymTron to kind of like reconfigure itself and understand it a little bit, like he's kind of back here to do the right thing. But instantly gets taken over by the Ultron part again. You see that the old young Hank Pym's like, well, okay, let's see if we can get any other heroes to come by and help us. Smacks the button, and it's Eric O'Grady. And he's like, who? What? What is this thing? Eric instantly just gets picked up by the PymTron and tossed around like, stop it, I'll be your servant. Please don't hurt me. Great. Really understanding that Eric O'Grady sucks. I like that a lot. So what's the I love it because, again, 4 issues, a tight story. It's really fun Ant-Man stuff. How are we going to defeat this? We're going to take the Time Master's ray gun that ages people. We're going to reconfigure it with Zane's powers because Scott Lang accidentally stole it when he came here to do everything. And we're just going to shoot it at the High Father Ultron. And I'm like, okay. And you see a beautiful splash page where you see every incarnation of Ultron being brought back and back and back to his, like, its simplest form. I'm like, that is so cool. That is so cool and fun. I love that. But it's like, did it die? Did it get sent to the past? What happened to PymTron All Father Ultron? Spoiler warning, future Marvel narrative experiences hold the answer. It's like, hey, I'm not killing Hank Tron. If you guys want to play with it later, Al Ewing's like, go ahead and play with it. That's up to you guys now. I gave you a story about it. Very fun. And of course, Eric falls out of the grass. He's like, we did it. We solved the case. Look at us. Everything worked out fine for the Ant-Men. Everybody shaking palms, getting along together. Scott's talking to Zane like, look, taking the path of an Ant-Man has a lot of tragedy in your life. Maybe it's because we're the smallest heroes. We got to think big. And they're like, Ant-Man's got all the time in the world, baby. Everything's coming up Ant-Man. And a nice capper to the book, which is a beautiful page that I really enjoyed, just seeing all the Ant-Men together. It's really fun. They're all so happy and charming, bunch of cool dudes. Just like, yeah, we did it, guys. We defeated our ultimate evil, which is the man who built us and destroyed us. Which is kind of cool on 2 levels, because it's like, yeah, Ultron should be an Ant-Man level villain. Like, it's created by Hank. That's who it should be, okay? I will stand by that forever. I also like the little narrative cue that it is like Hank Pym Ultron. That is the one that's fighting them. So it's like the ultimate evil to Ant-Man is an Ant-Man. I think that's kind of a fun area to explore. It's creative. It's kind of interesting. I'm digging it. I like it a lot. This book is really fun. And in a couple of months, we get the Wasp one. And that, as much as I love Ant-Man, and you all know I love my Ant-Man, Wasp is my girl. And I'm excited for that book so much. But I really dug this. The artwork is really fun and cool. The writing is really off-kiltered and interesting. So much exposition for like a story that probably might not come back ever. But how fun is that, It's a cool area to explore. A lot of fun characters. I dig this book so much. Please, please, please read this Ant-Man book. If it gets a trade, pick up the trade. It'd probably be released before the movie or around the time of the movie in February, but it's worth reading because it's so creative and cool. So, Ant-Man, issue number 4. I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.